and Lewis. Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for another Howling podcast. It is exclusive here on Howling podcast. Two exclusives, if you will. First off is I'm rocking solo here today. The bestie's not here. No one here to talk with me. I'm here on my own talking to you because this is another. The other exclusive is we're talking about the world of sports entertainment, professional wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about Wrestlemania 35, my review exactly on how I thought the show went, how my possibility, my grade of the show overall. Over 8.5 hours was the show, and going to give you a rundown of the not going into detail with matches, just giving you a rundown of a little bit of this, that, the other. We're going to do this in two parts. And we're going to have both parts out before the start of Monday Night Raw tonight. Of course, being recorded here on Monday, the 8th of April, 2019. So let's get into it. First off, let me just say that the actual panel, the kickoff panel, if you will, Jonathan Coachman, I don't know, the coach just really doesn't do anything for me. I really think I know that she's at the commentary table, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But I know that Renee Young is there at the commentary table, but I feel like Renee Young is a better suit for the kickoff show because I really think that the coach tries a little more than what he should. I really think that the coach, just to me, doesn't seem well prepared to go an hour, or in this case 2 hours of an actual pre-show. I just think that the coach, he just really doesn't look he doesn't present things well. He doesn't look good as far as in my personal opinion. But other than that, the pre-show gives us 3 matches. Buddy Murphy versus Tony Nese for the WWE Cruiserweight Championship. Now, Buddy Murphy, don't get me wrong, Buddy Murphy is an excellent performer, in-ring performer. I'm really happy that Buddy Murphy was able to get the Cruiserweight Championship and do something like, because everybody's like, well, Blake and Murphy didn't get called up to NXT anytime soon, and they kind of threw him aside. But Buddy Murphy, is a great in-ring performer. And then Tony Nese, they called him the premier athlete, Tony Nese. That was an excellent match all around. I thought the match was really, really great. I thought that the match was amazing. I'll be the first to tell you that when they started the whole Cruiserweight division and had it on Raw, and they was talking about the Cruiserweight division on Raw, it got to the point where the matches were like really boring, and it got to the thing where he was always like, well, I'm going to take a bathroom break for this match. But over the last year and a half, the last few months, the Cruiserweight division has really gotten exciting, and it's really been an absolute joy to watch guys like Buddy Murphy and Tony Nese, or guys like Cedric Alexander, or really put on a performance in the ring to make them worthy. I think that, in my personal opinion, the Cruiserweight division should come back to either Raw or SmackDown, or maybe we get an actual Cruiserweight show, because having it on WWE Network, excuse me, not a lot of people had the WWE Network, or only had WWE Network for that month or 2 months, and then they don't renew, and then they come back in and redo it, or however they do that. But a lot of people don't have the actual WWE Network like some of us do throughout the entire year. But for what it was worth, Buddy Murphy losing to Tony Nese, I think it was about time Buddy Murphy did, but they really told a great story in the ring. They really showed that Buddy Murphy was the one to beat, and Tony Nese beat him, and a lot of great pops in the match. I thought the match was well done, excellent match, no complaints. So then we move on to the Women's Battle Royal, in which Carmella wins. Now, all in all, that was a really good Battle Royal. I thought it had some really good pops. You have Sarah Logan, who absolutely killed it. Sarah Logan killed that match, people. And for her to there at the end, we thought that Sarah Logan was actually won the match and everything. And then, of course, here comes Carmella underneath the ring because excuse me, I'm sorry. Anyway, Carmella comes up underneath the ring and throws her out and gets the win. I was really annoyed by that because I thought that Sarah Logan there at the end really proved that she was dominant in there, and it really made me feel like the Riot Squad or a member of the Riot Squad was actually going to get the recognition that they actually deserved. Because let's face it, folks, the Riot Squad have really had the shaft since coming up from all three of them coming up from NXT. Has really had the shaft since the breaking of Absolution. The Riot Squad coming up at the same time, where they're together, and of course Paige no longer could wrestle, so the Absolution had to break. But I really do feel that Sarah Logan winning that would have been great, and the pop that she got after it looked like she won was great. I really enjoyed it. I was excited. I was jumping up and down. Honestly, well, not jumping up and down, but I was kind of really moving around and getting like yeah. I was excited for Sarah Logan, but for Carmella to win it, I was really, really upset. But the match itself was really good. A lot of, great ways to have everybody eliminated in that match. And I thought the match overall as a whole was really good. Although, like I said, I thought that Sarah Logan should have been the one to actually win that match and not Carmella. So we move on to the last match, or not the last match, but the next match in the on the pre-show, and we're talking the Revival versus Hawkins and Ryder for the Raw Tag Team Championships. Now the Revival, Scott Dawson and the Revival, Scott Dawson and I can't think of his name now. My goodness. The Revival, Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder. One of the best tag teams that I've ever seen. Just normally, these guys have not gotten a big break. Getting the Raw Tag Team Championships was well-deserved. But I think the outcome of this match, of course, is Hawkins and Ryder win. Hawkins gets to roll up and win. Now, I think this was a way to give Curt Hawkins that opportunity to break that 269 or 269 losing streak. I thought this was a way to give him that WrestleMania moment, and not only that, give us an opportunity to see Zack Ryder, which we don't have an opportunity to see Zack Ryder anymore. And as I said in my WWE Superstar Spotlight series, as I talked about Zack Ryder and how I feel about Zack Ryder, and if you haven't checked those out, please do so, because they're really my personal opinion on what I think of Zack Ryder. With that being said, I think that this match basically had some good pops, back and forth. The Revival kind of owned this match, in my personal opinion, as far as beating down Zack Ryder a couple times, for part of the match, and then beating down Curt Hawkins, and then back and forth it went. But I think that all this match really was number one, to get the huge pop for Curt Hawkins beating or for getting that winning streak and final, or the undefeated or that defeated streak, and finally getting an opportunity to be to get that win. I think that's all this was. I don't think it was anything really special, and I do think that tonight here on the April 8th edition of Monday Night Raw, we'll get a rematch between Ryder and Hawkins against the Revival, and the Revival will retain the title. So that's my personal opinion. But for what this match was, and like I said, I only think that the match was to basically give Curt Hawkins that first victory in 269 matches, and just basically get the pop and give him and Zack Ryder that WrestleMania moment. That's all I think this match was. So it was all right. The André the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I had my laptop unplugged, and I didn't realize that I didn't plug it in, and it didn't give me a warning that the battery was going to go dead. So I kind of missed a few minutes of this trying to get my laptop to reconnect. So I missed it, but I did catch it at the tail end where we had the two guys from Saturday Night Live, Michael Chan and Colin Jost. I really think that the André the Giant Memorial Battle Royal over the last couple of years have been a complete waste. I think that the Battle Royal itself needs to be a little bit more, kind of a little bit more story-driven to a certain extent, to where, these guys are building themselves up to become, an opportunity to get that trophy, which is absolutely amazing. And I don't think that the vision that Hulk Hogan had when he started the André the Giant Memorial Battle Royal a few years ago, I don't think this is what he envisioned. This is not what I envisioned as a fan of André the Giant. André the Giant was feared by a lot of people, not only for his size, but for what he could do in the ring as an in-ring competitor. I think that the André the Giant Memorial Battle Royal is just a complete waste as far as what they're trying to tell here. Putting those two in, for me, kind of really took away what the importance of the Battle Royal was. When, like I said, when you think of André the Giant, you think of a lot of things. You think of, André the Giant. You think of him as, the dominant one, for all the years he was until WrestleMania 3, back in the late 70s into the early 80s when we come there, and and you got Hulk Hogan, there, and doing what he did, or what Andre did to put Hogan over in WrestleMania 3. But I really think that WWE needs to take this whole entire year up until WrestleMania 36. They need to go back in and kind of rethink what they can do to get the André the Giant Memorial Battle Royal really mean something, instead of it not, instead of it being like a joke, so to speak. So there we have it. That ends the pre-show and or the kickoff show. And like I said, some good matches overall. I think that the matches in general were really good. Like I said, other than the André the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which, like I said, I have my opinion there, but that's just what I think for the actual pre-show. So we go into the main show. We got Alexa Bliss, who kicks off the main show and talks about WrestleMania moments, and then we get the Hulkster comes out. What you gonna do, brother? And a lot of people I see on social media, on Twitter and stuff like that, was saying that they absolutely hate Hulk Hogan. They think that Hulk Hogan is that really he didn't deserve to be there or whatever. But I'm here to tell you, folks, I'm a big Hulkamaniac. I've always been a big Hulkamaniac. Of course, I kind of got annoyed at Hulk Hogan with the whole sex scandal thing and the whole other things with him and the breakup of his wife, Linda. I think it was Linda. But anyway, I kind of got a little bit annoyed of Hogan, with that, because of all the big trouble that he had found that he had found himself into when the media blew out of proportion and made Hulk Hogan look like some kind of a wuss, in my personal opinion. But to me, having Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania, that was a pop. And then having him say, it's so good to be back to the Silver Dome, brother. Which actually, that right there cracked me up. That was a nice throwback and everything like that. But when him and Alexa Bliss posed, that to me was amazing. To see Bliss go up there and pose and doing her thing and stuff like that, which, by add, she looked absolutely stunning throughout the entire show. I will say that. But to have her pose with Hogan like that, the Hulkster, I think that right there was absolutely amazing. I thought that that was well done, a good start to the actual show itself. During that pose down, we get Paul Heyman, who comes rushing down in the ring and says that Brock and him have places to be. They got to be in Vegas, and they're not waiting until if they're not going on at the end, then they're not waiting. They're going to have this Universal Championship match right away. So the match itself, Brock dominates and just completely annihilates Seth Rollins, only for Rollins to turn around and get a couple of moves in, like a couple curb stomps and a couple whatever, and absolutely completely eviscerates Brock. Now, in my personal opinion, people, Brock Lesnar, for what they make him out to be, quote-unquote, the Beast, to actually get beat like that by Seth Rollins is terrible. Absolutely hated that, the way that match was actually done. Some of you may have a difference of opinion in this situation, but to honestly have this match done that way was absolutely stupid in my personal opinion. Because that basically makes Brock Lesnar look like a complete wuss, and that's not what they perceived him to be. They perceived him to be a beast. Get in there, Suplex City, a couple 3-4 suplexes, a few F5s, and then wins the match. Now, what you're saying is, well, that's just, that's something that, Brock deserved that. Well, maybe he did, but in my personal opinion, I thought that match there was absolutely, it was book stupid, is what it was in my personal opinion, because I don't see how Brock could dominate Seth like that, only for Seth to come back in like a mere minute or two, and then give him a couple curb stomps and turn around and beat him. I don't get that. That you have your own opinion. That's my personal opinion. So then we move on to AJ Styles versus Randy Orton, in which AJ wins. I thought this match was really good. Had some great pops. I thought it was well done. I thought both men put on a great show. AJ Styles always amazes me in the ring. No matter who he's facing, AJ Styles makes it look 100 times better than what it really is. AJ Styles is absolutely the best WWE has going right now, in my personal opinion. I thought Randy did good for what he did, and coming off with the phenomenal forearm at the end with the actual match itself. The end of the match, I thought that was a good way to end it. Randy, of course, getting his, getting his pops, the apron DDT. I thought, like I said, I thought Randy getting the apron DDT, getting his normal, his normal things of what he does. I thought that the match was good for what it was, and have AJ win it was pretty good. I thought the match itself was really good. Like I said, AJ Styles, any match that he's in is gold, in my personal opinion. So we move on after that to Lacey Evans, who comes down, or who comes on the ring, or comes up on the stage and parades around. I don't know what they're doing with Lacey Evans. I think she was in the Women's Royal Rumble, if I am mistaken. Other than that, we have not seen her in ring since the actual Royal Rumble. We have not seen her perform since she's got called up as a one-on-one match. Unless she's doing some dark, some dark shows, some dark matches before and after the actual Raw and SmackDowns or whatever. I don't know what they're doing with her, but I think you need to do something, because this having her come down and parade down and showcase herself, it just ain't working for me. They need to really go back to the drawing board and find out what they really want to do with her, because it's not working for me. So then we go to the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, the Fatal 4-Way. We got Aleister Black and Ricochet, the Bar, Rusev and Rusev and Nakamura and the Usos. I thought the match had some great moves, some great pops. I thought Ricochet and Aleister Black. Ricochet never fails to amaze me with the athleticism and the things that he can do in the ring. When they did that like superplex type deal situation where Ricochet just kind of done a somersault flip over whatever and didn't get really damaged, or didn't take much damage to that or whatever. I thought that was an absolute amazing pop. I thought the pop was actually, the pops in that match are pretty good. The way the match went itself was good. And at the end of the match, all I have to say is, welcome to the Uso Penitentiary. The Usos win that match. Well-deserved. I think the Usos and the gimmick they got going with the Welcome to the Uso Penitentiary, I absolutely love the gimmick. I I am on board for the Usos. I think they're one of the amazing tag teams. I think that they make their daddy Rikishi proud, and they actually do an amazing job in the ring together, and they are well deserving of those SmackDown Tag Team Championships. So then we have the Hall of Fame induction ceremony, or the Hall of Fame induction of the Hall of Famers. Somebody told me Absolute Gaming. We know him as many of us know him as KM. Shout outs to you, KM. Asked me, he said, I don't understand why they're doing this. It makes no sense to me. Well, they always do that. They always do that. So with that being said, we have the Hall of Fame induction ceremony, or the Hall of Fame inductees introductions to the to the crowd and to us at home. So we have that introduction, and then of course you got DX coming out, who does a great job, and then we got China up on top of the Titantron up there, and I thought that was a great way to have DX come in and have China up there to be represented. And like I said, I have my opinion on the Hall of Fame ceremony, and I haven't posted anything about that, but I may do it, and then again I may not do it. So it's entirely up to me. But like I said, I don't know. But with that being said, they introduce them, and then DX comes out and does their thing and everything like that. And like I said, I really thought that was really great. So we're in this first part of my WrestleMania review for this Howling Mood podcast, number 9. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, join me for the second part of my WrestleMania review on Howling Mood podcast number 10. This has been the Wolfman Lewis. Ow! I am out.